We react to everything and anything. Today, we are diving deep into Jay-Z and Kanye West's Niggas in Paris.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, this track is super controversial,
Yeah.
with a catchy beat and a backstory that's just as interesting as the song itself. We've got the Wikipedia article on the song
Okay.
and the lyrics from Litterize.com.
Hmm.
So we're going to uncover what makes Niggas in Paris so iconic.
All right, sounds good.
From its creation and reception to its lasting impact on music and beyond.
It's interesting that you chose this song
Yeah.
because on the surface it might seem like a straightforward party anthem,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so much more going on beneath the surface.
Like how it manages to celebrate Black achievement while simultaneously sparking controversy
Hmm.
and pushing those boundaries. I think that's part of what makes it so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Exactly. And that challenge starts with the title itself, Niggas in Paris. It's a bold statement.
Yeah.
It instantly grabs your attention and forces you to confront the complexities of language, race, and representation.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit.
Hmm.
The Wikipedia article mentions that the title came about pretty organically. Kanye basically said niggas was in Paris,
Oh, wow.
highlighting this sense of Black presence in a city not traditionally associated with Black culture.
So it's almost like they're reclaiming that space, flipping the script on traditional notions of luxury and exclusivity.
Yeah.
And that theme of defiance, of challenging expectations,
Right.
runs throughout the entire song.
You see it in the lyrics, too,
Mm-hmm.
especially in how they talk about success and excess. There's this line where Jay-Z raps, "If you escaped what I've escaped, you'd be in Paris getting fucked up, too."
Wow.
He's not shying away from his past struggles,
Right.
but he's also not letting them define him.
Yeah.
He's in Paris celebrating his success,
Yeah.
and he's not apologizing for it.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
There's this raw authenticity to his lyrics that really resonates.
Yeah.
And you see that contrast with Kanye's style, too, which is a bit more flamboyant and introspective, like when he claims he's suffering from realness.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a bold statement, and it makes you question what realness even means in a world obsessed with image and perception.
It's almost like they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Jay-Z representing this gritty hustler mentality,
Mm-hmm.
and Kanye embodying a more introspective, artistic approach to success.
Right.
And together they create this dynamic duo that's both entertaining and thought-provoking.
And that dynamic is amplified by the production. This song wouldn't be the same without that iconic beat.
Oh, absolutely. That beat is infectious.
Yeah.
Makes you want to move.
Yeah.
And the fact that Hit Boy created it in just 5 minutes, it's mind-blowing. Talk about raw talent.
It is incredible to think that such a simple
Yeah.
yet impactful beat came together so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bit of irony there too, right?
Yeah.
Hit Boy later faced financial struggles despite the song's massive success.
It's a classic tale of the artist not always reaping the full rewards of their creation,
Yeah.
which I think adds another layer to the song's message about success.
Yeah.
It's not always straightforward.
Right.
And even when you reach the top, there are still challenges to navigate.
That's a great point. It reminds us that Niggas in Paris is more than just a celebration of material wealth.
Yeah.
It's about the complexities of success, the duality of Black identity, and the constant push and pull between societal expectations and personal expression.
And let's not forget about the Will Ferrell factor.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought that a song with such a powerful message would sample a comedian like Will Ferrell?
Right. It's such an unexpected choice, but it works brilliantly. The samples add this layer of humor and irony that makes the song even more engaging.
There's this one sample where Pharrell says, "No one knows what it means, but it's provocative, gets the people going."
Oh, I remember that.
And you're like, is he talking about the song itself?
Yeah.
It's almost meta.
It is. It's like Kanye is winking at the listener, acknowledging the song's inherent controversy and even poking fun at it.
Which makes me think, do you think the controversy surrounding the song's title is actually part of what made it so iconic? Like, would it have had the same impact if it had a different title?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is complicated. On the one hand, the title definitely grabbed people's attention. It sparked conversations, debates, and even outrage.
Right.
And that attention, even the negative attention, contributed to the song's notoriety and ultimately its success.
But then on the other hand,
Yeah.
there's this argument that using that word even in a celebratory context perpetuates harmful stereotypes and gives power to a word with a deeply racist history.
Right, and that's a valid concern. It forces us to grapple with the complexities of language
Yeah.
and how words can have different meanings and impacts depending on who's using them and in what context.
Which is why I think it's so important to have these conversations, to dissect art, to analyze its impact, and to acknowledge the nuances of its message. Because Niggas in Paris is not a simple song. It's a complex and multi-layered piece of art that continues to spark debate and provoke thought.
I completely agree. It's a song that demands to be unpacked, analyzed, and discussed. And I think we've only just begun to scratch the surface of its depth.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting how Niggas in Paris functions on multiple levels. On the one hand, it's a song about having a good time, letting loose, and enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Right.
But on a deeper level, it's a commentary on the complexities of Black identity in a world that often seeks to define and limit that identity.
It's like they're saying, we're here, we're Black, we're successful, and we're going to celebrate it on our own terms.
Exactly. And they're doing it in a space that's not traditionally associated with Blackness, which makes it even more powerful.
Yep.
They're challenging the status quo, not just through their music, but through their very presence in those spaces of privilege.
And they're not afraid to get specific about that privilege. I mean, the lyrics are full of references to luxury brands, expensive cars, and extravagant lifestyles.
Yeah.
Like in that line where Kanye raps, "Was that jacket Margiela?" It's a subtle flex,
Yeah.
but it speaks volumes about their aspirations and their achievements.
It's interesting, though, because it's not just about flaunting wealth for the sake of it. I think there's a deeper message there about the pursuit of success and the trappings that come with it.
Yeah, it's like they're both celebrating and critiquing the material aspects of success. On the one hand, they're reveling in it, but on the other hand, they're acknowledging the complexities and the potential pitfalls.
Exactly. And that complexity is reflected in the music itself. The song is full of contrasts. You have these hard-hitting beats juxtaposed with these almost ethereal synth melodies. You have Jay-Z's gritty realism alongside Kanye's introspective musings. It's a constant push and pull between different sounds and styles, which mirrors the duality of their message.
And then there's the humor, which adds another layer of complexity. Like when Kanye raps, "Prince Williams ain't do it right if you ask me. Because if I was him, I would have married Kate and Ashley."
Classic Kanye.
It's hilarious, but it also makes you think.
On the surface, it's a playful jab at royalty and monogamy.
Right.
But there's a deeper level to it, too. It speaks to his ambition, his desire to break free from convention, and his refusal to be bound by traditional norms.
And let's not forget that this line was released just a few months after Prince William and Kate Middleton's highly publicized wedding. So Kanye was tapping into a very current event and putting his own unique spin on it.
Exactly. He's a master of using pop culture references to elevate his music and connect with audiences on multiple levels. And it's that combination of humor, social commentary, and pop culture savvy that makes his work so compelling.
But even with all the humor and pop culture references, Niggas in Paris never loses sight of its core message about Black excellence and the struggle to achieve it in a world that often tries to hold Black people back.
Absolutely. And that's why the song resonated so deeply with so many listeners, especially those who felt marginalized or underrepresented. It became an anthem for those who dared to dream big and defy the odds.
Okay, but let's go back to the controversy surrounding the song's title for a minute. I'm still wrestling with how to reconcile the song's message of empowerment with the use of a word that has such a painful history.
I hear you. It's a tough one. On the one hand, you could argue that they're reclaiming the word, stripping it of its power by using it in a positive celebratory context. But on the other hand, you could argue that using it at all, regardless of intent, perpetuates its existence and risks normalizing its use.
So where do we land? Is it a case of artistic license, or is there a line that shouldn't be crossed even in the name of art?
I honestly don't have a definitive answer. I think it's a conversation that needs to continue, and it's one that each listener has to grapple with on their own. But I do think the song forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about language race and the legacy of oppression.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe the discomfort is necessary to spark a dialogue and force us to confront these complex issues head on.
I think you might be right. Niggas in Paris is not a song that offers easy answers. It's a song that asks difficult questions and challenges us to think critically about the world around us. And I think that's what makes it such a powerful and enduring piece of art.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to wrap up this part of our deep dive. But stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore how this song transcended the realm of music to impact sports, video games, and even politics.
It's amazing to think about how a song that started with a simple trip to Paris could have such a far-reaching impact.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to dig deeper into those cultural connections in our next segment. It's crazy how one song can like blow up and become part of so many things.
Yeah.
We're talking about Niggas in Paris, the lyrics, the controversy.
Uh-huh.
But now it's time to see how this track went beyond music
Right.
and into like sports, video games, even politics.
It really did kind of take on a life of its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just a catchy beat anymore.
Yeah.
You got the Miami Heat using it as their intro music.
Oh, yeah, during that championship run.
Yeah, 2011-2012 season, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, you know,
Some serious talent right there.
all these amazing black athletes taking the court to that song. It was powerful.
More than just like a cool entrance song, I think it became a whole anthem for Black excellence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, defying expectations, achieving when people doubted you.
Especially in sports where Black athletes had to fight so hard for recognition.
But it's not just about the struggle, right? It's
Yeah.
about owning your success.
Absolutely.
Like you see LeBron on Instagram rapping along to the song.
I've seen that.
He's feeling that power, that confidence.
And then there's Kanye's Zone, that game, remember? From the line, "Don't let me get in my zone."
yeah, that browser game.
It's so simple, but it nails the song's vibe.
Playful, competitive, kind of cocky even.
Exactly. Even in video games, Niggas in Paris left its mark.
But then you get something even wilder. French president, Francois Hollande,
Wait, what?
using the song in a campaign video.
No way. Seriously.
Yeah, talk about a bold move.
That's putting it mildly. I mean, using a song with that title
Right.
in politics, targeting a whole country of voters.
It was huge. Everyone was debating, was it right? What about the language? How does the meaning change depending on who's using it?
Makes you think, huh?
But the fact that it happened at all shows you the song's reach. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Even politicians wanted a piece of that energy.
I guess so. So after this whole deep dive into Niggas in Paris, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from it?
That art can be way more than what you see or hear at first. This song started as a trip to Paris,
Right.
but it ended up being about so much more ambition, defying expectations, celebrating Black identity when the world tries to hold you back.
And it did all that while being fun and catchy.
That's the magic of it, right? It's entertaining and it makes you think.
It's why we're still talking about it today.
Mm.
Art can challenge us, make us uncomfortable even,
Yeah,
but also make us want to dance and nod along.
it's a reminder that art has power, real power.
All right, so that wraps up our deep dive into Niggas in Paris.
Man, what a song.
We've talked about the lyrics, the beat, the impact, the debates it sparked.
Definitely a lot to unpack.
And as always, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The podcast sponsor is in the description below, so go and check them out. Thanks.